Have you ever wanted to make a cosplay but couldn't afford the tail for it? Or have you ever needed a last minute costume? Well, my name's Cameron Clyburn, and I'm here to tell you how to make your own cosplay tail. It's mostly for a wolf tail. You can cut it shorter, you can cut it longer. It can be however you want. You can adjust these steps to whatever fits you. The supplies that you'll need is scissors, a string of any color, and you can choose multiple colors, and a dog brush. And that's it. The first step you're going to need to do is picking your color. You have to decide what color tail you want. How is it going to fit into your costume? Now, when you begin, you're going to start with the end of a piece of string, and you are going to wind it. I like to call from palm to elbow. And this will be the base of your tail. So however long you make this is how long your tail's going to be. Be careful when you start doing this if you've chosen multiple colors. The base of your tail is going to be what the tip of your tail will be. I did a multicolored one like this one, and as you can see, the base is the same color as the end because you're going to start from the bottom and work your way up. Now, as you're winding the string, you don't have to do it this way. You can make it as long as you want, but typically this is about a good length. And this is going to determine how thick the base is going to be. So, I don't have a specific number to put it on, but typically I just go a few times until I get a nice little bunch, and then you cut it off. Now, as you see, you have this little loop, so you're going to hold this end, and you're going to cut through this end. So now you have a loop on one end, and it's open on the other. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to leave this little loop, and you're going to tie a knot in the end. Until you have this. So now you have this loop at the end, which will help when putting your tail on. This will be the top of your tail. And you have the loose ends here down at the bottom. Now yours should be a little bit longer than this. I just cut it a little short so it's easier to see through the camera. Now what you're going to do is you're going to divide your string into 3 sections. And if you do not know how to braid, then you can look up how to braid, or you can YouTube how to braid. They're usually really good videos anywhere you go. So how you're going to do is once you have it divided into 3 sections, you're going to braid it all the way down. You're just going to go all the way down your base braiding. And by the end of it, you'll have a full braid going all the way down. Alright, as you can see, it's a little bit harder to do it by yourself, so what I did is I stuck a thumbtack here, and that helped me braid all the way down. So now I have a little braid, and you want to make sure to leave a little tuft at the end, because you're going to need that later. That is going to be the tip of your tail. So, you have your braid. Now as you'll see, there are each little joint has a little section right there where it goes in. Right there. So you'll see the end of each braid. And that is where you're going to start. That's where you're going to tie your string. Now, what you do at the end is you're going to tie a knot at the end so that it does not undo your braid. So you could even go as far as to tie a piece of string on the end if it makes it easier. Alright, so that is your base. This is where everything's going to go on. So the next thing you want to do, you can put that off to the side for right now because we're not going to need it for a little while. So the next thing you want to do, you want to take your string, your first color of string, the same color as your base, and you're going to wind it around your fingers. Generally, I like to keep them outstretched, and this is about the length of your fur. So you're going to wind them around until you get a nice little bunch together. And there's no specific number or anything. The thicker you do it, the thicker your fur is going to be. And then you snip off the end. Alright, so now you have this little loop. Now, before you cut the ends, you need to get another piece of string about 3 or 4 inches long. And you are going to tie your loop in the middle. So you're going to take your string and tie it off in the middle. Now you need to tie it as tight as you can around the middle so that when you start brushing, it doesn't pull the string out from the other side. But as you see, once you're done, you'll have 2 ends of loop. So you'll have one loop on this side and one on this side, and then you'll have these 2 tufts of string. These you're not going to touch. These should always be out of the way, especially when you're brushing, because it'll mess them up. Alright, so now next thing you're going to do is you are going to cut the loops. So you're just going to cut straight through them so that you got all this little string. And now you have the base for your fur. So next thing you're going to do, this is where the dog brush comes into play. You are going to brush out the ends of the fur. Grip it very tight at the back so that it doesn't pull string out from one side or the other. And then you're going to start at the bottom and work your way up. And as you'll see, it'll start to get lighter as the braid breaks up. And you may notice that a lot of fur is being pulled out, but that's okay. That's why you made it kind of thick when you wound it around your fingers. Alright, so once you get it brushed out, this is what you'll end up with. You'll end up with like a little tuft of fur with your 2 strings at the top. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to take your base, and before you add that on, this little tuft that you cut out at the beginning, you're going to brush that out too. That's going to be the tip of your tail. That's what's going to make it look like it comes to an end. So you'll have this, your base, and at the end you'll have this little bitty tuft, and that's the end of your tail. So what you're going to do is you're going to take this and you're going to tie it right at the top of your knot. And you're going to double knot it because it needs to be kind of tight. You don't want it to come off while you're at someone's party or at a cosplay convention or something. And you'll just tie it at the end. And you're going to keep going, and you're going to tie one at each of these little links. So each little link where it comes in, you're going to tie it at. And you have to go all the way around it. Don't do them all on one side because, of course, then you'll have a tail with only 1/2 of its fur. So you're going to have to do it as you go around. Just turn it around as you go and just work your way up. And once you get to the top, there's nothing else to it. It's ready to go. It's ready to be part of the cosplay. And some people have straightened their fur, and it's completely up to you. This is one that I did not straighten, and this is one that I did. So as you see, the straightened one is more sleek, is more it gets skinnier too. So you may need to, if you're going to do that, you may need to make your fur thicker by winding more times around your hand. This one is one that I didn't straighten. And this is also my multicolored one. So, by the time you're done, you'll have a finished one like mine, and you'll be ready to go to your cosplay.